Spirit. Let's jump in, okay? Um, Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. We're going to talk about a few things. These are going to piggyback off of Libra's readings, Libra's messages, but very, very important. As you can see, the topic of the video is love bombing, curses, and the mark of the beast, okay? I want to start by saying that my covering of these topics is not biblical. That's not the intent. It's literally by divine revelation, spiritual insight, and I say this from a perspective of this was a quickening. Yeah, I see the Justice card and the Magician and the Four of Swords. I was literally at rest, and in my rest, my spirit just welled up inside of me, and I began speaking in tongues, and I received some downloads about these things. So I want to talk about them from a very practical perspective so that there's comprehension, and because there are some things I'm hearing that are about to take place, okay? And the people to whom they will impact or affect, excuse me, I believe that there will be some questions about whether or not with the Justice card that's just or justified. And so I want to explain from, excuse me, the perspective that Spirit has given me, the reasons perhaps why, okay? So talking about love bombing, okay, this is something that is very significant. It's essentially when someone comes in, and this is not just in like romantic relationships, but what Spirit showed me is that it is an unclean spirit that love bombs, okay? It is a holy unclean spirit that love bombs, and what it does is, because when you think about spiritual things, the spirit reveals the intentions, okay? And so the unclean spirit is love bombing because it intends to achieve a desired outcome that would otherwise not be of effect had it not love bombed. So this is where a person comes in expressing, offering love, gesturing love, and what they're doing is playing on the psyche. And I'm not a psychologist, but the reference is more so to trance mode. And some of you are familiar. When a person is in trance mode, then what it does is it has you in a frame of mind that is creating. In trance, some of you guys know I talked about the Silva mind control method, right? You can program yourself and control your own mind, or someone else can program it for you. But the way this works, this is largely marketing, advertising. So again, when I talk about love bombing, it's way deeper than just somebody coming in and sweep you off your feet, although that is included. Love bombing is coming in, and it's a fictitious energy. It's the energy of the false prophet or a fake spirit, because it expresses or paints the picture of love, gets you into this trance-induced state where you are able to visualize, and then what you are doing is manifesting. But because of the fact you do not know the intentions of the person who is love bombing, you don't know what the intent is to manifest. So when they get you into that trance state by love bombing you, what they are doing is having you participate or enter into a conscious agreement to manifest an outcome that you have been deceived to believe is one thing while it's actually another, okay? This happens all the time. You have people who do this. You have, again, we talked about incubus and succubus spirits. You have women who do this, and their intent or desire is to get your money, but they will give you a false perception that there is actually love. I actually care about you. I actually want you. I actually have interest in you. All along, their intent is just to get your money, okay? You have men who do this, and they just want a piece of ass, okay? And they know that all along, that the spirit that they are inducing, right? By virtue of entering this trance state that allows you to visualize the concept of being in love or feeling some sense of the love it is that they're expressing. You doing that is supporting their ability to manifest what they are intending, and that's what it is. It's mess, okay? It's messy what they're doing. And the reason that this is coming up is because what Spirit revealed to me in the download is that moving into this energy of curses, these people are cursed, okay? When we talked about 6 things God hates, 7 that he finds detestable, this is an example of those who are quick to work mischief, because that's what it is. It's an unclean spirit. It's a mischievous spirit because they know the intentions that they have while they are creating this false perception that their intentions are good. Okay, so some of y'all, this is gonna resonate because somebody has actually done this and they're cursed. And I ain't lying, they cursed, and they're the energy I'm picking up on, they're cursed because they have done this a number of times, and God does not honor it. So what they've done is opened a portal, and it's because they have been selfish with the Sun card. Could be a Leo, could be a Libra. Those are just the 2 energies I see. It does not have to be. But whoever this is, they are cursed, I just heard, and they are wrought about it, okay? They are mad about it, but it's nobody's fault but their own because they know what they did, okay? Now, whomever this is, what their desire is to do, I just heard, is to move out the person that they try to get over on. Whoever this is that came in love bombing, when they did this, they grieved themselves because somebody, I feel a Queen of Cups energy, was sensitive to it, I just heard, and closed the portal. The Queen of Cups energy closed the door on whomever this person is. It doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. Somebody was spiritually sensitive to it. They were spiritually in tune and they closed the door. That person they want to get rid of, they're not going anywhere. Why? Because that person made them a promise. Until they deliver on that promise, that person is not, I don't care what they do. Because spiritually, God has revealed to this person the entirety of a thing. And that person, I ain't gonna lie, they're gonna be in a position where I don't know if they're going to jail. I don't know exactly what's happening. That somebody's going to go down. But that's the curse, right? I have spiritually, what God was showing me are some things concerning the Me Too movement, okay? So this is not, and not only that, but this is akin to that. Hey, Sky, I'm glad to see you. Welcome in. There is, the death card. This is, the curse has to do with accountability, okay? Because when someone set this false intention that they never had any desire or plan to actually fulfill, that was seen by God. By God, that was them, what? You talk about 2 choices, right? Choose life, choose death. That was the death choice that they chose, okay? So the choice that person made was a choice to die, okay? And this is going to be their ego that's going to die because there's something that this person wants and they're not going to get it. Because what they have said through their decisions is that they want to be held accountable, and they are going to be held accountable. This person is going to have to make right for these evil intentions that they set and the impurity in what they express. Hey, Lucky, glad to see you, love. Yeah, pay. Yeah, this person is going to have to pay. With the 6 of coins, whoever this is, they're going to have to pay. And that could be financially or otherwise. With the 7 of swords, again, this person is paying for their deceit. They're paying for their treachery. And whoever this is, they think that they are not getting out of it. Because with the death card, I hear LaShawn Pace Rhodes. I know I've been changed. Angels in heaven done sign my name. Whoever this person is with I just heard Empress, so it very well could be, but it's coming up as a Queen of Cups energy, okay? This person is protected by God, okay? Somebody's protected by God. So when whomever this is came in intending to deceive, this person, but this person is being spirit led of God. What God was actually doing was giving this love bomber, which I do feel is I just heard a serial offender. So whomever this is, they have done this to people before, but I just heard they have gotten over on the spirit led. I feel like this is important to talk about because people who are spiritual operate, they move by the spirit of love, okay? It is their natural flow. So when a person comes in and they love bomb someone who is rooted in the spirit of love, what they are doing is manipulating God because God is love. And that's what that person is. That's the vein or the mode that they're working or they're operating in is by the Spirit of God. When you move by God's Spirit, there are certain protections that God gives you or guarantees that come along with your willingness to move by his spirit despite the deceit of others. Some of you, this is why you've had experiences, but on the other side of those experiences, what is God's promise, right? Vengeance is mine, I will repay. And even though you were operating by God's spirit in the spirit of love, even at times when you were deceived, God did what? You end up doing what? You end up being compensated, right? You end up being compensated for the fact that they tried it and that they failed. And God allows something that was meant for evil, was meant to work against you, to end up working for your good. And that's what I see ensuing in some way today, okay? Like I said, there is a curse. It's not by a person, one person to another. It is because when you're operating in God's divine love and in divine flow, and somebody comes in and their intent is to deceive what is the righteous spirit of God, the only person that they have deceived is themselves. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. I said you are under a curse, and the curse will not be lifted until you pay what you owe. I ain't gonna lie, somebody's watching and they know. They know. They know. They know, they know, they know. They know, they know, they know. They know, they know, they know. They know that the real is on the right. Look, I know this probably seems ominous, but somebody I just heard again, they're not going anywhere. IDGAF. And you can go down if you want to, but that's all that's going to happen is you going to lift up your eyes in hell. And that's what's going to happen. And so whoever this is, look, trust me, they know. They know. They know. They know. They know. They know. Because they know what they did. They know that their intent was to deceive. I just heard, and now they want to appear self-righteous. Every tongue that rise up against me in judgment is now you condemned, baby. You condemned. A curse be upon you. Woe unto you. Slow your fast ass down like I told you before. God is not mocked. Talk about the mark of the beast, right? 666, okay? I ain't gonna lie, it's become one of my favorite numbers. Why? Because again, as I talked about earlier, right? They marked Jesus, right? They called him the beast, right? So we talk about the mark of the beast. They condemned Jesus. Why? But what? He was right, okay? So Jesus didn't care about being condemned. He didn't give three fucks about being condemned. Why should I care? I know I'm doing the will of my Father. I'm walking in his purpose. So if I'm doing that, then you'll get over it. You'll understand it better by and by. And they came to do that. Okay. So some of you, somebody has marked you, right? You think about, again, Me Too and a lot of these movements, right? And not just Me Too, but a lot of things, especially like I talk about, like love bombing and stuff like that. You dealing with a person who, what they try to do is make you out, give the impression that you are the issue or that you are the problem, right? They're giving the impression that you are the unclean spirit. I feel a spirit of delusion. Somebody's painting pictures. I just heard, and those pictures are not real. They're being fictive. The spirit. They're being a false prophet. Lips that devise lies. Their intent is to deceive. And with the King of Wands energy here, they're arrogant. And your pride, sir, goeth before your fall, because you most definitely about to take, I just heard, a very steep fall. And it's going to be love. Love that comes through justice. And I ain't gonna lie, for somebody, I just heard all that work you've been doing. Well, this is representative of the young penitentiary, sir. And you can go if you want to, because it is the vengeance that is going to repay, I just heard, for your dirty deeds. Or you can go ahead, I just heard, and submit your will unto God, right? Stop by here, Lord. Stop by here. So look, you're going to show love one way or another. These going to be the tears that you end up crying out. The weeping in the morning and the gnashing of teeth. They're going to be the tears that you cry out, or it's going to be the love. I just heard that you promised that you will fulfill. Because when you made a promise to God. And you don't make a vow to the Lord and then decide you're going to take it back, and there's no karma for that. You're cursed. 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 Why? Because of your own demons, your own selfish lusts and desires. Because you could not tame your flesh, and you were willing to deceive the righteous spirit of God in order to attempt to get what you want. And you didn't like it when God recognized that is not my love. That's not my heart, and that's not my spirit. It's manufactured, and your intent was to give the appearance that it was me, but it's not at all me, and I'm not pleased. God is not pleased. And you felt very comfortable presenting love as if it were the love of God, and your ass is dead wrong. And the more your intent is to cover it up by painting these false perceptions and pictures, it's a demonstration before God that you idolize yourself over the spirit of truth, which has been convicting your heart and telling you to take this opportunity that you have to be able to come clean. God is not pleased, and he's not mocked. And with 666, I've talked about this before. 6 is a number of karma. So when we talk about 666, right? 3, okay? That's a 3. That's a treble, okay? When you think about the treble, right? What it does, anything in 3s, right? Sets a vibrational plane or pattern of alignment, right? This is why in music, when we talk about the treble, what it's doing is actually opening a portal, okay? It's setting a vibrational tone. That's why when you listen to music, right? When you hear the treble, and not just the treble, right? Obviously, you got that bass, you have other aspects of music, but specifically what Spirit is speaking to me is the treble. When the treble sets the tone, what it's doing is setting the vibrational point of alignment for what is to usher in or to take place. So when the treble is set, okay? And this is why, again, when we operate under a false spirit or a false anointing, right? A fake vision, we say that this is what we are intending to do, but in actuality, that I just heard is not at all our intent. That treble is still there. We have still set the tone. And although we may have deceived someone else to believe that I just heard it was a pure tone, something significant about isochronic tones, the reality is that the portal from which we manifest, I just heard, cannot be deceived. So when it comes to 666, either that tone is pure, and that 6 is us paying the debt, giving to what we are responsible to give to in order to manifest what our true pure intentions are, or that 666 ends up marking us as being the beast, and we end up manifesting the curse. That is what the mark of the beast is. That is what 666 is. What you give of yourself to, and whether or not you are giving to the beast, which marks you as the issue, the cursed, the problem, or whether or not you are giving to what are those due, whether or not you are giving to what is due, making that sacrifice of this is what I owe, this is what I'm responsible to give, and I'm doing that. So the opposite of the mark is going to be the fulfillment, right? If it's not the curse, it's the blessing. That's where you're in a position where you say, nope, I want what's mine. Why? Because I know I did what I was supposed to do. Okay. And again, that's where you get me to. No, I was deceived. You was wrong. So on the other end of that, I just heard, I want that 30 million. And you can get mad if you want to. And that person in that scenario will call that individual a beast when they were the ones that presented a false perception of love that they had absolutely no intention to fulfill. They just wanted what they wanted. And that's why I just heard they're getting the curse. Somebody's in this position. They're getting the curse. They're up under a curse. They are up under a curse. And who don't like it can get mad about it if they want to, but they're a curse. I just heard, and that curse will take them out. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, that curse will take them out. Whoever this is, I just heard, has been a menace. And they have taken for granted, I just heard, the mercies of God and the love of God. And I can't lie, I'm picking up an energy of a person where people have shown this individual love time and time again. And this person, I don't know what their issue is. I do see the 10 of swords. So it makes me feel like whoever this is, there's something in their mind, their mental capacity, they're defeated and they take people for granted, okay? This person is not thinking with the Logos mind. So what they do is they assume that that nothing will happen. They take people for granted. And so when people show them love, they feel like there is like nothing will ever come on the other side of that. They feel very comfortable in just doing whatever, taking the love, but then not delivering on whatever their end of the bargain is. I just heard with the Ace of Coins, it's a price to pay. I just heard, and they're going to start paying it. I just heard today, not tomorrow, and not Saturday either. Today, they're going to start paying the motherfucking price today. God said it, not me. And what that means is that obviously what God gives a choice, an opportunity, could be an Aquarius. God gives a choice and opportunity. God doesn't force people to do things, but what that means is what's going to happen. God is going to connect with someone in a very deep way. And if they don't pay voluntarily, God is going to begin to, I just heard, take their money. And I don't know what that means, if it's financial, but God is going to begin. This is somebody's about to get reached out and touched. Because God wants to make clear to whomever this is that I just heard this is on you. Whomever, I see the 9 of Swords here. This is clear to a person. I do feel like whomever this is, it makes me feel like they can't stop thinking about whatever this is, but they're trying to clean something up in a way you can't. The only way you clean up your unclean spirit is to clean up your unclean spirit. Whoever this is, they're thinking that they're just, again, I get this energy, they're going to discard a person, they're not getting rid of anyone. That person is not going anywhere. That's their karma. That's this person's fate. And they don't like it, but it's worrying them, it's troubling them, but it's not that person is troubling them, it's that they've troubled themselves. That's why you don't do what you did. I see the High Priestess, whomever this is, trust me, they know who they are, okay? Pisces energy joining in, they know who they are, okay? Again, unclean spirits, this is not just romantic, this is friends, this is family, it's whoever, okay? But karma ensues. I just heard again today. I just heard you were bold. You had the audacity. So God's coming to you with that same boldness. I just heard it. You will not rest with the 4 swords. You will have no peace until you accept the peace of Christ. At the cross, right? What is the peace of Christ? That's truth, right? The intersection of divinity with humanity. This is the beauty, right? This is what the Antichrist is. The Antichrist, thank you, Holy Spirit. The Antichrist is not a person, right? It's a spirit that will come upon a person, and it can literally come upon anybody, okay? The Antichrist is when Christ presents, right? This is when the truth comes out, when it's made known, right? Arms stretched wide, right? The intersection again between humanity, the human plane, and divinity, the spiritual plane. And when that intersection is made and the divine's presence in the 3D reality is made known, that's the spirit of truth is here. When that's made known, the Antichrist has a desire to invert divinity, even though God is here. And there's no denying that God is here. You cannot deny that God is here. But the Antichrist will still, out of its desire to deceive, give the impression that God is not here. Why? Why would we continue in sin that grace will abound, knowing good and damn well that God is most definitely here and God ain't going nowhere? Lying through their teeth, lying their ass off. The Antichrist. As if it's not, and thinking you not cursed. Like God not gonna, you your own spell work, baby. God giving you an opportunity to choose this day who you gonna serve. You gonna keep serving yourself? It's not gonna get you nowhere, because all that's gonna happen is God gonna continue to make himself known. And the more you think God ain't real by thinking you can deceive the divine. You can't manipulate God. You're at the end of the road with the 9 of Wands. Whoever this is, let me tell you, they spent, okay? This could be financially, they spent. Somebody is exhausted, okay? They tired, okay? And it's because I just heard the devil is already defeated in their mind. Because whoever this is, they know what the issue is. It's nothing to think about. They don't need to think about it. They just need to do it. Yeah. The day you hear my voice, harden not your heart. God not playing with you. God came for judgment. Somebody's getting a wake-up call, okay? Somebody's getting a wake-up call, a hefty wake-up call, okay? I don't think it could be something about a garbage bag. Somebody's getting a hefty wake-up call, and they know whatever this wake-up call it is, it's on them, right? And with the judgment card, they're going to have to choose. But if they make the wrong choice, baby, they can think God not going to come down from the holy hill with all, look. Somebody bring a judgment on themselves. Let's jump into these messages, y'all. Thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate you. Hey, Tori boo. Good to see you, love. Divinity. God don't play. God is not mocked. You will not mock God. Everything it is that you promise God, you will perform. You will perform. You will perform. I just heard that's not God's problem. That's not God's problem. Somebody's bringing, but what about, but this, but that. That's not my problem. That's what God is saying. That's not my problem. This is your call. You decide. How do you want judgment to ensue? You want to make the decision on your own, or do you want me to make the call for you? Because a call will be made, and there is a return. Okay? Judgment card, Taurus energy. Somebody, again, I heard a hefty wake up call with the Three of Cups. But yeah, I just heard he's coming back and he's coming real soon. No one knows. This is the return of Christ, which means what? If somebody was the Antichrist and what they tried to do is take the truth and invert it, what? Out of defense, right? They tried to cast it down. I told you, every tongue that rise up against me in judgment is being condemned. That's what's happening, okay? So this is the return of Christ. See, people think that, people be thinking that the scriptures is all deep and spiritual. This is the return of Christ. The truth is going to come back, and what will it do? It will redeem. It will set free. Somebody tried to block the truth. You can't block the truth. You can't block God. Cursed is he that hangs on a tree. Somebody said he not hanging. God not hanging on the tree. Christ came down, right? He has risen. He has risen and he lives. See, somebody think you still in a position where you back waiting, or that you're stuck. God not stuck. God not never stuck. He rose, yes he rose. He rose, yes he rose. This is where somebody is not anticipating your resurrection. For whoever this message is resonating for, I just heard think that they buried you. But that's what the Antichrist does. That's what he comes to do. His intent, I just heard, is to snuff out the Christ. And he think he can put out your flame. He cannot. Speaking of the Empress, you're part of something way bigger. They go to Judgment card. Yeah, Seven of Swords is at the center of the reading. I'm telling you, somebody is trying to deceive, and they think that they can get away with it, but God is not mocked. This is our second seven. This person is challenged. They're being challenged to overcome the lie that is themselves, and to be honest, to tell the truth. And as long as they are rejecting of the truth, they're going to see God's divinity. I just heard God's arm, okay? I just heard the breastplate of righteousness, which makes me feel like that you think about the breastplate, it covers what? The heart. This is God's defending someone. This is security, okay? Someone thinks that they can get out. This is a promise, though. It's an oath. Someone thinks that they can avoid having to keep or fulfill their promise or their oath, the vow that they made before God. And this is God binding them to that promise, restricting them to that promise, coming out under the hangman, okay? So this is a position that someone has put themselves in because of the promise or the vow that they made to God. They're going to be in whatever position it is that they're in. I don't know, I'm kind of getting the energy. I don't know, somebody could be sleeping on someone's couch. They're going to be in that position until they keep their promise. I don't feel like that necessarily has to be the case, but someone's in a bind and they're waiting to get out of that bind, but that I just heard that bind is waiting on them because they created it. And until they fulfill their promise, hold up their end of the bargain, or fulfill the vow that they committed to fulfill, that bind, I just heard, will not be released. This is the curse, right? Cursed is he that hangeth on a tree. I just heard, and here he go hanging. The Empress. This is Mother Earth. For some of you, there could be success. Look, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. God has been speaking to me heavily about women's rights. This is way deeper than just a person, right? Y'all know I don't consider myself a feminist, but this has a lot to do with women. This has a lot to do with the divine feminine. And if it's men out here who think that they about to get over on women and doing all this lying and shucking and jiving and deceiving, they have only cursed themselves, because the woman is the great, and I'm talking about with an anatomy. The woman is the great mother. God created the heavens and the earth first, before he ever made man, before man was ever thought of. God created the woman. Now, he may not have formed her until after he created man, but the earth is the woman. In her, the seed is implanted, and from her springs forth every fruit. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. Women are getting justice in this season for the deceitful ways of men. And it's a lot of men about to be hanging on a tree, cursed, because the promises that they made before God have not been kept. And for those who had intentions of deceiving, meaning they never intended to keep that promise, well, baby, that hex, that hex, that hex, that hex, that hex, baby, that hex with the star and the empress, baby. I just heard you ain't never seen a hex like that. You ain't never seen a hex like that. You ain't never seen a hex like that. Glory to glory to glory to glory to glory to glory to God. He's the only God, my Savior, majesty, dominion, and power forever and ever, ever. Be glorified. Let the people praise him for his mercy and his goodness, for the victory we all have won. Look, God is being exalted. What did I say? A unicorn the other day, I think, came up. The crown. The unicorn being exalted. Some of you, this is you with the empress and the star. You're the you are being exalted. And who's doing the exaltation? It's God. Because if I be lifted up from the earth, I will draw all men unto me. And some of you, God is literally exalting you. Because you have exalted God. You have been a keeper of your promise. See, this is the beauty, right? We talk about the mark of the beast. This is why when it comes to 666, I celebrate. I celebrate God. God, I thank you for the number 666, for the mark of the beast, for the fact that you keep your promises. And this is the revelation of a thing. God, I thank you for your revelation. God said, I don't have to decode every chapter, because the reality is that if I can just unlock the Omega, then I can close the book, because it is ... finished. This is the finished work of the cross, is the mark of the beast, okay? Because some of you, what you've been dealing with, right? Mother Earth, I don't care whether you are woman or not, right? What have you been doing? You've been cultivating, right? You've taken care, right? You've looked out. Yeah. This is the love of God, right? You've groomed, right? You cleaned up after, right? The empress is the great mother. You beautified. You saved. You were righteous and not in your own eyes, but before God. Which means that when you made a promise, you had every intention of keeping that promise. Because that's what you do. I just heard you're a promise keeper. And because of that, 666 was implemented for you. See, this is the beauty of revelation. When God gives it, oh my God, it can't be taken away. This is again the return of Christ. And some of you, congratulations, because you're going to be caught up now to meet him in the air. And he's imparting to you his mind, which is the divine mind, which secures, protects, provides. It keeps you. It restores you. Whew. 666 is a promise for those who believe God enough to keep their promises to God. For those who made a vow and said, God, I'm going to find a way to keep the vow that I made before you. God, I don't know how I'm going to get this done, but I'm going to make every choice that I can to keep my promise to you. Because, God, I trust you, because I believe that your promises are yea and amen. I believe in the covenant that you made with me, that you would keep me if I stayed fixated on you, God. 666 is the curse, and the curse is for those who believe God. For those who don't believe God, 666 is their own condemnation. But for those who believe and trust God, it's God's promise that vengeance is his and that he would repay. And that if I promised you, you would receive, well, I'm going to make sure that you get it. 666 is to save you. Why? Because when the Antichrist comes, it is merely a demonstration of the promise that Christ is returning. So when the person comes in there, you're in a situation because what they have done is inverted the truth. How dare they? That is when the energy or the vibrational plane of alignment of 666 comes in. And that is the energy of justice, where God is now taking on those Libra scales and weighing it up and saying, well, I know the very intents of the heart, right? Man's looking at the outward appearance, so they don't know what the person's intentions were. But I know the intents of the heart. So I'm going to place that on the scale in my courts, right? I will enter his gates with thanksgiving in my heart. I will enter his courts with praise. I will say this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice, for he has made me glad. When I weigh this up, here on my Libra scale, I'm weighing sins and forgiveness. When God weighs this up and says, what was your intent? What did you intend when you made whatever this promise or this vow is? And based on the actions that you took, right, that I place on my scale in making this promise, was your intent to create this trance-like state that allowed you to get what you want? Or was your intent to fulfill, but there was an unclean spirit that actually had no intent to fulfill? And that's why we ended up in the position where now judgment day must come. Okay? This is the process of establishing the true mark. I say again, someone is cursed, but they are cursed by their own deeds, because when they planted a seed, God is judging whether or not they sowed seeds of discord. And again, this is all by the intentions of the heart. The devil is here. We knew that though, right? Judging by the intentions of the heart. When you sowed the seed, was your intent to sow discord, right? Or was your intent to actually fulfill? God's judging the intentions of the heart. I just heard, and nothing else. God don't care about what you say. God don't care about what you show. God don't care about your pictures. God doesn't care about any of that. God cares about the intentions of your heart. And that is what I just heard the ruling will be made based on. Was your intent to deceive, to evade, to avoid? Were you lying? Was your spirit unclean? This is going to be beautiful, because for some of you, you've been needing this judgment. You've been waiting for this day to come. You've been wanting this call to be made, because the things that you've had to go through a result of this promise being made. This also has to do with the rules. So some of you, this is going to apply in business, because when somebody feels like they want to do business, well, if you decide you're going to do business, then there's certain rules that you agree to keep, right? This is what your bylaws, right? When you formed your business and you established it, you said this is your mission, vision, and value based on whatever this mission is, its purpose that was established. Again, some of y'all, these is oath keepers. This is heads is going to roll, right? A lot of them are not playing, okay? This is the powers literally coming through. I feel it. I feel the anointing of the Holy Spirit. And it's definitely going to be there's some loss, okay? It's going to be some loss. It's going to be some people grieving. And for some of you, with the Queen of Wands, you could very well be behind it. I just heard sorry, not sorry, right? Demi on them, right? Sorry, not sorry. With the Ten of Swords, I just heard you had your chance. But you tried me 100 times, wanted me to die, wanted me to cry, wanted me to lie. I'm staying alive. And some of you, you're staying alive by virtue of somebody else's livelihood. But I feel like if that's the case, it's because that's their loss. And they're taking that loss because they're cursed. Let's come through and clarify, okay? We have heavy Taurus, Pisces, Cancer. I hear Sagittarius, although I don't see it. I'm also seeing the Fool. We've seen some other cards, Aquarius, Leo, Libra. I feel Scorpio. We've seen the Death card too, though, so makes sense, okay? Yeah, there's been a lot of resistance, it feels like. And a lot of judgment. Yeah, I just heard scrutiny, okay? But whatever this scrutiny is, it feels like someone, I see the Tower and the Ace of Coins, makes me feel like for some of you, this is someone who's been avoiding, this could be contact. It doesn't have to be. I feel like someone has been, it just feels like there's some sort of opportunity someone has been trying to avoid having to take. For some of you, this has to do with information. They've not, I just heard, not wanted to touch it. So it could be a subject, a topic. Again, if this is information that comes up or comes out, this can be someone who is, I'm not talking about that, or, I'm not connecting with them. It feels like, yeah, I just heard topic. So someone's avoiding the topic. And with that, I feel the Tower, right? See the Seven of Wands here. Again, Spirit is mirroring, Spirit is, and that's what I feel is the Moon. So what's happening is for whomever has been avoiding or holding resistance, it feels as though the Moon is, it's almost like the very thing that they're fearful of is the reflection. That's what's reflecting in their reality. Because that's what the Moon is, a reflection. And with the Moon, it's almost like the very thing that they are resistant to is what they're drawing to them. But that tide is strong. And so when this person reflects their shadow and their reality by doing this, that shadow is the very thing that they're going to manifest. Okay. So I feel like that's what's happening, because it's like, and boom, whatever this is now comes. The very thing that they were trying to avoid is boom. Like that's what they end up getting. Okay. So for some people, they're going to feel like it's the short end of the stick. But again, I feel like that's only in those situations where they're cursed. Some of you, that Ace of Coins in the Tower is going to be boom, and it's going to be opportunities hitting for you while you maybe been waiting. You've been kind of like taking what could be like standing back. I just kind of get this energy of like maybe even going through it. And with the Ace of Coins in the Tower, suddenly it feels as though perhaps you're in a position where now judgment is made. I just heard in your favor. Okay. It's almost like a ruling made on your behalf. Yeah, I see the Queen of Swords here, but it's because you've been discerning, right? I feel this energy of between truth and a lie. And while I can see you're avoiding, right? While I can see you're not wanting to address this, or you're trying to get out of having to talk about this, right? While I can see, again, another dual 7, right? I'm telling you, God is moving, God is speaking. And God is not playing. There's nothing hidden from the eye of God. And that's what I feel is somebody felt like they could hide, or that they could get out of, or that they could avoid. They're not. They're not. See the Sun, Leo. Told you guys. That's another duplicate, another dual. Whoever this is, like I said, I feel like somebody's arrogant, but they're new too. I feel seeing this side of God. And I do feel like it's a shame with the 5 of Coins, because I feel like this is a side, they've only seen what feels like the face of God, right? They've only seen, I just heard the goodness of God. And for some of you, this isn't a person. They've only seen God's goodness. They've only seen God's glory. They've only seen what feels like God's smile. They have not seen, I just heard the wrath of God. But somebody I feel I just heard is inviting in the shadow side of God with the Hermit. And they know this. They know this. I just heard impeach. I don't look. Somebody could be being impeached. That's not my business. I'm literally just saying what I heard. Yeah, I literally just heard trumpet. So something is sounding. Some sort of alarm is sounding. And that, but I feel like that's the judgment. Okay. Um, mm, mm, mm. Yeah, I just heard strife. The Five of Wands is clarifying the Hangman. Someone is, I feel there's a realization of a problem or a conflict. And what this does with the Two of Wands is presents a choose ye this day. So when whatever this, look, 7-7 up there, whenever this problem or conflict comes up, it's putting someone in a position where they have an opportunity. I just heard to resist the devil and he will flee. Okay. So someone has an opportunity to, whatever the problem or the conflict is, by virtue of their awareness of whatever this is, they have an opportunity, it feels, to defend against the curse. Okay. And something feels as though this is past energy. Okay. So, and I see 2 7s now, 2 7 of Wands. Somebody has had an opportunity to get in front of something. Okay. Somebody had an opportunity to defend against being in a position where they were cursed. They realized perhaps what the point of contention, what the conflict is. It's almost like there was a realization, there was beef ensuing of some sort, or that there was a realization that it's almost this energy of like something was caught, right? They could have been caught, or this could just been, again, it just gives awareness. Someone was awakened to something. It was maybe an illusion at first, and this could be even in their own mind. There was some sort of illusion at first, and then a realization, oh, that's an illusion, this is a problem, right? And upon realization of that, it puts someone in a position where they had an opportunity, then it feels, to do something about it. It feels to protect themselves from experiencing what could be a problem, drama, conflict, something of that nature. I have to say heavy fire energy in the past. Okay. So I do feel, if that be the case, this may have prompted someone to take what could have been a significant number of actions. Okay. I feel that energy where this could have put someone in a position where it feels like there was something, very, maybe very heavy, very taxing that they had to carry out. And this could have even been after having done something very okay, I really was about to say hexing. This is giving the impression that some sort of deed has already been done. Okay. The deed has been done. Okay. Somebody carried whatever this is, a very heavy weight. Someone has already carried it out. But I feel like the realization that someone's going to come to is whether or not what they did was the cursed action, or whether it was the blessed action. Because if it was cursed, then whoever this is realizing, I just heard, they have a significant problem on their hands and they know it. With the Hermit, this person, I feel, was arrogant in having the audacity. And with the Hermit, I literally just heard this person is going to jail. Somebody's going to get locked up. Because this person knows in their heart that what they did was evil and ill in its intent. And whoever this is, I just heard, again, a hefty price. Somebody's going to have to pay significantly. Because whatever it is that they did, now I do feel this energy of they are caught. The Sun could be, like I said, Leo, Virgo we have here as well. Look who just flipped over on the back of the deck just when I was getting ready to shuffle again. The Empress. I kind of get an energy of like somebody was trying to take care of something or someone, but you know how you have that I'll take care of it, and you have ethical ways, but you have I'll take care of it, and you have what somebody knows, I shouldn't have done that. That wasn't the right way. That wasn't the honest way to take care of it. This is, again, this is the mark of the beast, but this is the beauty of the mark of the beast. Because if someone was being honest and true when it comes to, it's like if they were being spirit led and taking care of whatever it is that they were taking care of, this is that person perhaps having been under a curse, right? But the curse that they were under was something that another person put on them. Okay. But if they were being pure, right? If they were being pure in their intent, honest and true, right? But just using wisdom and being spirit led, then that person, what's taking place is they're being protected, okay? They're being revered, they're being defended. So I see the sun and moon. The moon is reflecting the sun, okay? So whoso walks in sonship is being reflected, okay? And this reflection, I don't know, I'm kind of getting whatever this is going to happen fast, in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye. Okay. Something's taking place, and someone who has been deceitful in their deeds is getting caught up. They're getting caught. It feels in their own trap. They set a trap for someone else. They're getting caught in that trap. Yeah, death. And it feels, yeah, death, the wheel of fortune, and the sun and the star. It feels like some sort of prophecy was spoken, and it's being fulfilled. So with death, it's almost like if they were able to be fortunate or favored by perhaps operating from this position of deceit, right? Lies, if they were able to, it's almost like if their curse on someone was effective because of what they were willing to do deceitfully. The death card in the wheel of fortune is where their fate is now changing. Their season is now, that season of life is ending. And with the sun, this is where their cursed behaviors are going to be revealed. This is revelation, guys. This is revelation. And with the moon, it's in the hermit. This is what is hidden. What they hid, what they did in the dark is now coming to light. And whomever that is, with judgment coming out next, whomever this is going to be held accountable. Okay. We got another duel, right? We've got Oladamari right here, right? Within that of the Hierophant, right? I just heard God never fails, right? I created the universe. That means what? I know everything in it. I know how this thing works. If God established the world, right? If I established this, right? If this was our oath, if I created this, then I already know how it's supposed to work. I know the process, which means I know if you followed it, or I know if you didn't follow it, if you skipped steps and you tried to work around it. Okay, so there's something taking. Y'all, I can't make this up. Look, I'm clarifying judgment, and here go God again, right? And God is like, I ain't got to explain nothing to you, right? This is what God telling me now, right? Y'all remember this happened again the other day, right? I told y'all Christ is returning, right? Christ is returning, right? He's coming back, and he's coming real soon. No one knows. No one knows the day nor the hour when the Lord shall return. Will you be ready? That's the question. Will you be ready on Judgment Day? Will you be ready? I don't know why I'm kind of getting this energy of like, judge not that you be not judged. Somebody assumed and they made some sort of judgment. I'm telling you, somebody took someone for granted and they made some sort of decision or judgment call based on judging another person. I just heard, and it wasn't right. They made the wrong call. That was the wrong judgment to make. It was made off of, I feel, false pretenses. This person was avoiding when they made that judgment or that decision. They cursed themselves. And because of that, this call is now being made, and the curse I just heard is being reversed. So what they thought they were putting someone else through or they were putting on another, now a call is being made that's going to bring an end to that. So some of you, you're suffering, right? Your suffering is ending. Whatever it is that you've been going through, I just heard those days are over. No more drama, no more trauma, no more difficulty, no more. I do feel that energy, okay? Because this call is being made. I just heard, and none but the righteous shall see God. Let me just tell you, whoever's cursed, okay? I'm not talking about who's been, because some of y'all, you've been under a curse. I just heard, and that curse wasn't yours. That was theirs. I just heard, but they put it on you because they didn't want to make the decision that they needed to make. I just heard, and I'm sorry. So for some of you, whatever it is that you've been going through, you shouldn't have had to go through that, because The only reason that you did is because someone else, I just heard, didn't want to have to die to their flesh. They didn't want to have to kill their ego. They didn't want to have to do their shadow work. So they cursed you. They were the Antichrist. They inverted the truth so that people would make judgments about you, and it would prevent them from being in the judgment seat. We all got to take that seat eventually. So now, this is double judgment, okay? I can't lie. For some of y'all, that's what someone's getting, right? If you think about it, right? Someone who lies, when I think about like commission of a crime. When you commit a crime and then you cover it up, right? It's like hiding the murder weapon. Then the judgment or the penalty that you pay is usually more severe because of the fact that what you did was egregious, right? It's almost like, I don't know, I am getting something carries criminal penalties. And with the death card, I'm telling you, somebody's there. I do feel this energy of like their life is over. And I don't think that necessarily has to mean death. I just get a very strong energy of somebody I feel the energy of a bid, a life sentence is honestly what it feels like. Somebody's going to spend life in prison, and it feels like, and obviously that's not for everyone. Some people, the curse that they have to live under for what they did to you is going to last the rest of their life. That was a decision that's going to cost you the abundant life that God intended for you, the blessing that God intended for you. You're going to live under the curse for the rest of this lifetime. That's what this feels like. But I'm picking up an energy of, when you talk about motive with a crime, right? When someone commits a crime, a lot of times you're talking about like what was the motive behind the crime. I can't lie, it's giving like Jeffrey Dahmer type energy, right? So when you look at a person's motivations, if it was like it's almost, I'm kind of getting something is like heinous. So, and again, this don't have to be like actual like killing people, but it could be like what someone did was a spiritual crime and their intentions were not good. I have to say, this reminds me of, you have some people, when I talk about a reprobated mind, and I think we've all been in a position where we could be there. So the intent is not, again, it's not even to judge whomever this is, but you have some people who I kind of get an energy, and I know one of my friends is here. We've talked about this before because you've kind of expressed some things to me, so I know that you can relate. But you will go through things in life, right? You will have, whether it's women with men, whether it's men with women, you will have, sometimes it's people with mommy issues or daddy issues who will go through things in their life. And based on the experience, they will hate women, right? Because my mom was never there. I just heard because she put me in a garbage bag and threw me away. Now I'm just going to spend the entirety of my life using and abusing women. That's a whole message for somebody. And some people literally, like, that's what they do because they were hurt by one, right? Because I just heard in that messy divorce, I'm never going to show a woman love again. All I'm ever going to do is use them and then discard them like the way that she did me. And that'll be the decision or the judgment call that a person will make. And I'm sorry that you were abused. I'm sorry that they put you through that, but that does not give you the right to be able to curse other people because of what you were put through. That's not the right decision to make. Because of your experience and what you had to go through, you don't get to decide that you're going to sacrifice others. Just because that was the decision that was made concerning you. It's time to die, okay? So I'm telling you, it's for some of y'all, and when I'm talking about this, these are archetypal, right? So while this likely resonates with specific people, these type scenarios are the type scenarios that are being judged right now. And the judgment is heavy because you have a period of time where I just heard God is forgiving with the judgment card. God is forgiving. And so God will allow for opportunities for a person to, again, don't take the mercies of God for granted. I'm kind of getting like at very least twice, okay? I'm getting at very least twice there's been maybe, and I shouldn't say that because it's not about the number of times, but someone has been given an opportunity, it feels like, to, I just heard again, address the curse. To make the right call or the right decision is what it feels, okay? Which usually means that when it comes like Judgment Day, that's where God says with the King of Coins here, now you're accountable, because it's almost like I woke you up. I made you aware. I brought this to your attention so that you can make the right decision or the right call. I gave you an opportunity to change and you chose not to. Okay? So there's something significant about that. God has given someone an opportunity to change and they chose not to. I can't say that that's not still an option, right? Here's the sun clarifying judgment. So I do feel, again, whatever this is, could, again, we've seen the sun already, right? Probably about 2, 3, 4, 7 times, right? Could be a significant Leo, but this is where God is showing someone themselves, right? With the sun, I'm shining the light on you, right? Look in the mirror. See yourself. Are you aligned in sonship? Are you one with me? Are you being honest, right? I'm giving you an opportunity, right, with the judgment card, to look in the mirror, to see yourself, and to be honest about the changes that you need to make. Was that truly the right decision? Ask yourself. And if not, then I'm giving you as well. That's whenever God shows us ourselves, God is giving us a second chance. I'm giving you another chance, another opportunity to be honest, to make the right call if you made the wrong call. I just heard again to put the weight down. Somebody pushing bricks, baby. Them bricks, you about to be building it. I just heard I just heard jail 2. The 7 of Swords is clarified by the King of Wands. I feel it. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius doesn't have to be one, but this is, again, the 7 of Swords and the King of Wands. This is, I see 6 and I see 9, okay? Again, somebody has been carrying a burden that they're going to be put down. And with the King of Wands, they're going to be able to take pride. It's almost like whoever this is, they've not had any pride, is what it feels like. It's almost like they've had to maybe put their pride aside, right? Someone has had to put their pride aside. They haven't been able to, it feels like, be forward, or like someone has not been able to do the things that I feel they've wanted to do. They've simply had to, it feels like, step up and do what needed to be done, okay? That's 666, right? That is perhaps what they were due. It's giving, that was their reasonable service, okay? Meanwhile, someone has been arrogantly avoiding doing what needed to be done, carrying what feels like a burden that I feel God has held them accountable to carry, okay? This is something that God showed them and God told them to do, but they've been avoiding having to do it. And it's their arrogance that feels, I just heard, that they don't have to. When God shows you something, you don't get a choice. You're going to do what God told you to do, or I just heard you're going to forsake the power of God, which means if God has been empowering someone to do whatever it is they've been doing, whoever this is, I feel, is losing their power. So something that they've been able to do, they're losing. They're not going to be able to do that. because they've not, it feels like an energy of accountability where whomever this is has avoided, like they've not wanted to own maybe their, again, this can be the truth. For somebody, this is a child. For somebody, this is just taking responsibility. Again, when Jesus came, right, when revelation was there, they didn't want to own what could be their own. They didn't want to look themselves in the mirror. They didn't want to own, I feel, who they actually are, okay? They didn't want to be honest about the real them and the things I just heard again that they had the audacity to do. They didn't want to tell the truth about what they had done. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, for some of y'all, this is love bombing with the Ace of Cups here. I just heard, but the Spirit knew. Some of y'all, if you've been in a position where the Spirit is willing but the flesh is weak, let me just tell you, you're going to be, whatever this is that's working out is going to give you confidence. It's part of the plan, the strategy that God has to show you love, and you're going to be confident in the fact that you trusted God even when you felt weakened by the situation or circumstance. The Tower and the Ace of Cups, okay? God's love is literally bursting through, flowing through to you, okay? So some of you, I feel like that might be what you don't see, okay? That might be something that you don't see. But God is planning, I just heard, to show you immense love. I also just heard ingratitude, okay? And it feels like because you trusted him. And with the Hermit here, it makes me feel, I don't know, I just heard Meeks. I ain't gonna lie, for somebody it's death. Meeks is a mortuary. Somebody is gonna, I'm telling you, sin, the penalties of sin ain't no joke. But when we look at sin, sin is always sinning against yourself. You cursed yourself. If you've been trusting God, let me just tell you, it feels like trusting him when you can't trace him. God, I don't see you, but I know you. I don't see you, God, but I know you. I know you and I trust you. And I believe you, and I'm relying on you, and I'm depending on you. Because your righteous elect have never been forsaken. Your seed has never begged bread, God. And although I don't always see you footprints in the sand, you've always somehow carried me. You've always somehow given me a light. I don't know, for some of y'all, this could be like somebody literally giving you a light. God, you've always given me a light in the darkness. And so I trust, God. I just heard that when I need to fire up, I just heard you're going to bring that blaze. It is what it is. I trust that you're going to show me love. Because you know I believe you. You know I trust you. You know that I'm following you, right? Even though I can't see you, I know that you are there, Emmanuel. I know that you are with me, okay? Some of you have been operating in that spirit, in that anointing. Emmanuel, God with us. I know you're with me. I know you're taking care of me. All these major arcana come in. I'm telling you, God is moving. The Spirit of God is moving. Temperance card. Some of you, this is what you've been waiting on. Again, the promise to be fulfilled. God, I trust you. I know that this will alchemize. Yeah, I just heard this too shall pass, okay? So some of you, that's what you're in a position. God, I just trust you. I know that this will pass. I know whatever this is, you know, it's only a matter of time. I know that if I can just get through this, right, everything will alchemize. Everything will work out in the end. Yeah, I just hear, you are the Lion of Judah. You're the beginning and the end. You're the Alpha and Omega. You are, you are, you are, you are, you are. Indescribable, uncontainable. You place the stars in the sky and you know them by name. You are amazing, God, all powerful, unchangeable. Awestruck we fall to our knees as we humbly proclaim, you are amazing, God. Who sees lightning bolts and tells them where they should go, or sees heavenly storehouses laden with snow. Who imagined the sun and gives source to its light, yet conceals it to bring us the coolness of night. None can fathom. Oh, he's able. He's able. I ain't gonna lie, some of y'all, this is a person, but I'm just hearing God is able to help you. God is able and he's willing. God is very committed to you. God is actually very, very, very faithful to you. And again, I don't know if you're doubting this, but something makes me feel like something's going to take place where if you have been, whatever this is that's taking place, you're not gonna doubt him, okay? Because whatever this is, I feel is going to be very telling about him, okay? So whatever something's about to remove, I feel all doubt from your mind concerning a person, place, or thing, okay? And this is all working according to plan, okay? This is all a part of God's divine plan, okay? Because when God makes you a promise, He keeps it every time, okay? He keeps it every single time. God is not a man that he should lie, nor the son of man that he should change his mind. Ace of Swords. This is something being made real, being made reality, being made known, being revealed, okay? It's clarity perhaps where there was a lack thereof. That is the truth, right? The Ace of Swords is the truth, right? The sword of truth, right? It's piercing, it's severing, it's creating that divide between the cursed and the blessed, okay? So something's coming through and it's creating a divide between what is cursed and what is blessed. It's delineating, okay? Those who are blessed, I just heard, are being kept, okay? With the Four of Coins, the blessed are being kept, okay? You're alchemizing. You are being saved. You're being spared. You're being preserved. That's what's something significant about preservation. Okay. Can't lie. I'm also getting some sort of energy. This affects, it feels like people of, I will just say melanated descents. This is culture. Some sort of culture is being preserved. I pray this for Palestinians. Somebody is being preserved. They're being kept. I really pray that they capture, and I think that they, granted, it's not my decision to make, but Benjamin Netanyahu is cursed, and I pray that they hang him. He's cursed. Him and the other guy whose name is escaping me, but I pray that they capture them and that they hold them accountable for what they've done to Palestinians, and such as the penalty of death. Yeah, some of you, this is your inheritance. This is about your inheritance. This is about your birthright, okay? And again, I know that a lot of people don't like it, but I'm getting a very strong energy of culture, okay? And this is where, like I said, it's not about being black or white. It's about being right or wrong, and that's what God operates in. And if we're honest, there is a culture of people who they stole. They had the audacity to steal, and then they covered it up, and they placed the people that they stole from under a curse. And God is not mocked. I can't lie, y'all. This is prophecy. This was prophesied. Our ancestors prophesied this. They said that this day would come. They hung us from trees and thought that there would be no penance. They thought that their sons and their daughters would not have to pay. But Psalm 91 is a promise. And God fulfills his promises. And I'm sorry if you are of the cursed bloodline, then the curse is upon you. And God has given you opportunities to reverse the curse. And if you were not willing to look at your soul and do what needed to be done in order to reverse the curse on your bloodline, then you are just as cursed as your daddy and your granddaddy and all that came before them. Because God is not mocked. And you can get mad at the people who are blessed, and it is their inheritance, it is their divine birthright. But all it's going to do is put you in that position where you make continually worse decisions. You continue to make poor judgments because you want to continue to be favored when you have not paid the price to receive God's favor. That's not how the covenant works. You have to keep the promise. You have to fulfill your duty to God in order to receive his promise. And if you have avoided having to do that, but you still want the benefits of receiving God's promises, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees. Everything you wrote down is cursed. You're doing all that bookkeeping for what? Just trying to save yourself when you haven't done what it is that God, you made a promise to God to do. These were the rules, and you promised to keep them. You did not satisfy them. So you will not see the blessings of God. Yeah, I just heard Tales from the Crypt. That was a message I did for Libra. I want to say it's been a few years ago. So it could be a significant Libra, but I'm telling you, somebody's going to die. Whatever this is, it's the grave is their curse. Whether it's physical death or whether it's with the 10 of coins, this could be like somebody's losing everything. Something that they perhaps thought they were inheriting, they're losing the entirety of their inheritance. I just heard they're losing all their land. Everything that perhaps they've worked their whole life for, somebody's losing it all. Because they operated under the curse, thinking that they could deceive God, that they could hide from God. And if that's the case, then you go ahead and I just heard enjoy that relationship. Because what God has joined together, no man puts asunder. So if God didn't join it, what does that mean? It's a relationship of division, baby. Go ahead and get ready I just heard divide up those assets. Somebody gonna be having, I'm telling you, they're gonna have to divide something up. They're gonna have to figure something out. How am I gonna get this handled? Because again, here's this confirmation with the hangman. Somebody's cursed. They're in a position now. Now what am I going to? You figure it out. Because what? The devil was on you. The curse is upon you. Because they were what? Antichrist. They didn't want the truth to come out. They were an antagonist to the truth. So they inverted because the truth would have created an issue or a problem for them. And it would have required of them that they pay something that they were due or owed to pay. And they did not want to do that. So what they did is gave way to the demon and they accepted or received the curse. This is the way demonic pacts work, in case anybody wondered, right? Doesn't mean that they can't be intentional, but these are the ways in which we don't realize we're making what? A deal with the devil. And that's what someone has done because they wanted to avoid taking responsibility or accounting, owning their mistakes. Also just heard their stripes. Someone did not want to take accountability. And so what they did is they formed an alliance with a demon. Again, whether they knew it or not, whether they realized that that's what they were doing is forming an alliance with a demon or not. The devil presented the temptation to this person to get out of whatever it is that they were being asked again to own responsibility for. And when they agreed to accept whatever that bait or temptation is that the devil presented to them, well, it created a pact. It locked them in. Now you're bound. That's your agreement. It's what you said you would do. That's the promise that you made. So now you're bound, right? It is finished. The beauty is that in life, we make these types of pacts all the time. But again, what happens is what? Judgment. God reveals or makes known these things to us, or will show us, hey, it's a deal with the devil, right? Don't do that, okay? You don't want to agree to that, right? You don't want to do that, right? That's not really what you want, okay? And when God reveals that to us or makes that known to us, he's giving us a second chance, right? To say, okay, I don't want to do that, right? And then, but that's where you have what? Christ the Redeemer, where when I'm honest, right? And when Jesus returns, right? The truth now, because of the fact that I don't want to enter into that pact, then what I do is I take responsibility. I own it. I step up and I realize, okay, God, it's your plan, right? I may have gotten out of this or worked around this for a period of time, but I realize now, I see clearly that that was what? A deal with the devil, and that your actual plan for me was for me to trust you by taking responsibility for this, by owning this, okay? So I feel whatever this is, something makes me feel like in this energy, there's a choose ye this day. The devil is there, the temptation is there, but someone has an opportunity, it feels like today, to receive grace, to receive the promise, okay? So I feel like that's the ultimate message. Someone is in a position again, but they have an opportunity where if they trust God, then this person knows. I just heard they'll leave. I heard leave, I heard vacate. So I don't know what that means for someone, but I feel like for whomever that applies with the hermit card, that person knows that, okay? So if they trust God, then in trusting God, this person knows, I feel this energy with the Eight of Wands of what needs to ensue. It's almost like I know what I need. It's almost like there could be some significance with travel. I know where I need to go or what I need to do. This is almost like what I need to, put into motion is what it feels like. Okay. So if someone trusts God, what they've been avoiding doing, they will accept now that if they want, I feel their life to be spared, or if they want to, it feels like to be kept from, again, I just heard the crypt and I also heard the curse, then whomever that is, I just heard without further ado, with the Eight of Swords, without delaying any further, they will go ahead and accept, I know I need to do this. This is my responsibility to do. God, I'm going to trust you. I tried to get out of it, but I'm going to keep my promise to you, right? What it is that I vowed or I agreed to do to you, do. Okay, I don't know, that could resonate, right? That was a slip, but to do for you, with you, what I agreed to do, I'm going to go ahead and it feels like take the time to keep my promise, and I'm going to go ahead and make good on that and do it. Okay. So some of you, this is going to lead, someone could be coming your direction. I also just heard with the Three of Cups, they're coming back. Hangman is clarifying the Nine of Wands. And I feel like it's because this person maybe feels pressure, because again, it's almost like if they were under an illusion, they're aware now, they feel the pressure that is, what, I don't want whatever this curse is, okay? And whatever this is, it's intended to get someone to, I feel, finish whatever it is that they to complete the work I feel that God has begun in them. Okay. So it's almost like God is trying to get this person's attention. The reason that they're in the position that they're in, the reason that they feel, maybe it is, I don't know, I'm getting an energy of like stuck. I'm also kind of get like trapped But the reason that they feel the pressure is because they haven't kept the promise. And God wants to bless them, but they position themselves, and whoever this is, they know that. I have to delay your blessings until you are willing to make the decision that you need to make. And you have to trust me, is what I'm getting again. You have to trust me. This, whatever this choice is predicated upon what someone believes. So if they don't believe God, then they're going to continue trying to avoid having to be honest. And it's arrogant with the Nine of Cups, which means that the very curse that this person feels they can get out from under is the very thing that is going to be fulfilled in their life. This person is sipping of their own Kool-Aid. They're indulging in their own ego. They feel like they're showing themselves love, but it's not the love of God. And this person knows this. Meanwhile, for some of you, I do feel like you can sense something makes me feel like some of you may have been like applying pressure, and I don't feel like intentionally. I kind of get like, for some of you, this is representative of you being like awakened, right? I'm woke, I stay woke, right? And I don't know, that could be resonant for somebody. It's like, because you stay like, I get an energy of like spidey senses, heightened level of awareness. You're not missing nothing, you're aware of everything that's going on. I see what you're doing type energy is what this is. Something makes me feel like some of you, you're able to sense that you are maybe someone. It's almost like your awareness is making someone feel pressured because of the fact that you're aware. And I feel this energy of like, for some of you, it may, because sometimes what that can do is put you in a position where you're like, maybe I need to, it's almost like I don't want to apply pressure, right? So it's almost like it makes you apprehensive. Let me fall back. Okay. So some of you, you may have like, again, fallen back with the tower. It's like, I realize like whatever it is that I'm doing, it's like whatever this is, it's like I can feel whatever that is with the tower is it's almost like realizing that someone feels pressured by it, and you're just aware of this. Um, if that's you, and being woke, perhaps even for lack of a better term, has made you feel you've been apprehensive about maybe even kind of like bringing your wokeness to someone's awareness, or like this could be like continuing like, something makes me feel that you are sensing, you're picking up on something, um, that is, it's like I feel this energy of like spiritually you're being made aware. If someone is maybe trying to pressure you to take the pressure off of them, I just heard keep applying pressure. Okay. So I feel if that's the case, then what you're doing is, now that you're spiritually aware that they're maybe trying to put this pressure on you out of avoiding having to be accountable, what feels like to God. And I do feel like that's real. And like I said, this could be very simple as like telling the truth, be honest. I just heard with your child. So for some of y'all, somebody's lying to their child. Somebody doesn't want their child to know the truth about, I don't know why I'm kind of getting an energy of like who they are, what they've been doing. Yeah, I hear Mariah Carey, heartbreaker, you got the best of me. And whoever this is, I do feel like whatever this is that they do, they keep doing it incessantly. But I just heard again, they're a liar. Whoever this is a liar. And I feel like they have child issues. I just heard child abandonment. Look, that could resonate for whoever it needs to. But I feel like whoever this is, there's someone that they don't want to know because this person, again, whatever this is hidden because this person has a desire to appear like they have it all together, is what it feels like with the Nine of Coins. This person wants to appear as a total package. And like I said, this is an impression that they either want to make with a child or they want to make with regard to someone who may see them as like being clean. But I do feel this energy of like, their spirit is impure. It's arrogant, and they want people to see them as being whole, but the decisions that they're making, I just heard, are very broken. I just heard again, they're not committed. The only person that they're committed to is themselves. That's the only person that they show love to. This person has an authority issue. What does that mean? It's very likely that someone has no self-control. They want all the attention. They want all the glory. So in a relationship, a person like this, if their partner, obviously in a relationship, you have authority, your partner has authority. If this person is sneaking and their partner finds them out and their partner takes or uses their authority and says, hey, I found this out, or why are you avoiding this? That person wants to have authority or power over their partner. They are very prone to denial, and they're very inclined to break their partner to prevent having to sacrifice themselves, their ego. They like to shine. So when it feels like the energy, somebody is a narcissist and they're very caught up in their image. I don't know, that's going to resonate for somebody. Let me just say, whoever this is, I don't know why I kind of feel like whomever this is had people, I ain't going to say on their side, but I feel like this person is very, very, they're very inclined to their image. Like they're very motivated by their self-image. And it feels like, it's sad because as much as this person exudes arrogance, they're very they have self-esteem issues bad. This person is validated by everything exterior and has no love for themselves internally. That means that this person loses, like if they have money and if they end up broke and they don't have money, this person would lose their shit. Because their identity is solely rooted in the 3D. And what people think about them, in the image that they said, this could be their looks, this could be their clothes, whoever this is, that is the pride that they have. And it's a false sense of pride. It's giving the lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life. This is a demon. Because someone wants to maintain this image, I just heard, but it's not God. And the whole reason that they're going through what they're going through is because God is love. So what God is doing is showing them, if you think you have authority over, I have authority over every day, but because of that, I'm going to come through and show you love by showing you my power for real, showing you who I really am, by showing you that I'm in control. You don't run anything unless you're running within my will. Otherwise, you're going to keep running and keep running and keep running until you run what? You run out of steam. Until your will runs out, until your well runs dry. Because if I don't show you love, you won't have no love. If I don't give you power, you won't have no power. If I don't bestow to you my authority, you have absolutely no authority. Somebody has absolutely no control. They can't do shit about shit. Some of you, that's what you're benefiting from. Because you trust God. And God is doing all of this in order to deliver into your hands the very thing that this enemy felt that they stole. Okay? The very thing that they were trying, what the devil meant for evil, God literally is taking it. And some of you realize that God is turning this around for my good. I realize, God, I felt real pressured by this, but I realize now, God, right? You did all of this, what, for me? For my good, for my good. Things will work out for my good, even though I would change things if I could, right? Nobody wants somebody to have to go to jail, right? I don't want you to get locked up. Even spiritually, I don't want you to be in spiritual jail, aka hell. I don't know, some could be significant about aka. Look, Kamala is not exempt. Kamala is not exempt. Like, look, y'all, I ain't gonna lie. I've been saying this since been saying this. Joseph Biden and Kamala Harris in tandem, because they are the chief executors of this establishment, they need to be incarcerated. They have breached, and look, this is all constitutional, and I don't know why it's coming up now, but y'all already know I speak under the authority of the Almighty God. I ain't scared of nobody, and ain't nobody got a hell that they can put me in. And if God be for me, ain't really anybody who can. I wish a ninja would. They both need to be incarcerated. And I know that that's a difficult pill to swallow, but it's the truth. Because the decision that they made concerning this openness of borders was very selfish. What their evil and ill intention was to bring in a bunch of immigrants. And their desire was to convert them and to give them citizenship so that they could have their vote. They wanted popularity. They wanted to win the vote that bad. And when you look at the Constitution, you don't even have to get into the Constitution. Look at the preamble. We, the people, in order to form a more perfect union, the union is intended to be perfected. And when you avoid perfecting the union, this is God, y'all. I feel it. This is God. This is the Lord's doing, and it's marvelous. This is on a large scale. I know I've made it mundane, but this is on a wide scale because God don't make no mistakes. God was giving them a second chance, an opportunity to make the right call, to look at how over history all these things have been avoided and the curse had been placed on people who did not deserve to be cursed. Their birthright and their inheritance had been the promise. And Joseph Biden and Kamala Harris had a prime opportunity that God placed them in positions of power to be able to reverse the curse. And instead, what did they do? They worsened it. They avoided doing so. And what they did, because if you look at the preamble, right, one of the obligations that it has is to provide for the common defense, right? We're talking about to peace, domestic tranquility. And what they have done is created civil unrest. Why? Because when you bring it, and it's not an issue with immigration, right? Ain't nothing wrong with immigration, right? I welcome immigrants, right? I appreciate having people from different places. This is presidenting, in case you didn't know. This is presidenting. This is what you call presidenting. I told y'all, look, God said what God said, and the vote can say what the vote wants to say, but the president is the president, and God gonna appoint who the hell God wants to appoint, and that person gonna rule because all power belongs to God. Romans chapter 13. And God gonna take power from whoever feel they have more authority just because they might have the pentacle, because they might have the title. And God gonna say, I don't give a damn about your title. I place the authority in whom I place the authority in. And if it's their birthright and it's their inheritance to have the authority, if I want to make her motherfucking president, bitch is gonna be president. And you can not like it all you want to, but what I'm gonna do is you're not gonna get no answers. You're not gonna get no solutions until you heed. And you can keep running. You can run out the whole bank. You can run out the treasury. You can run down the GDP. You can fuck up the whole world economy. And when you get to the end of yourself, then you will return to me, to my will, to my way, and you'll realize the only way to lift that curse is to fulfill the covenant and receive my blessing. I'm not playing with you. This ain't preaching. It's prophecy. I don't know why people think God is fake. It's not the governmental ordinance department. God is real. And ain't a head that I won't cut off. I'll guillotine all you motherfuckers. I don't know who you think I am. I'm God by myself. I don't operate under anybody else's authority. All power belongs to me. And when you think you can usurp my authority in your arrogance, your pride will be the demise of you. I established, formed, and founded this country off the blood, sweat, and elect. And if you think you can come in and rob my chosen people, my royal priesthood, to whom I delivered this land, and you think you can take it from them, and that the curse is not upon you. If I be a promise keeper, I'm keeping my promise today. The Ace of Coins in the Tower. Okay? Something's connecting. And I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I ain't even gonna front. I told you they need to be held accountable. When you have the responsibility, to whom much is given, much is required. They have a responsibility. When you talk about the preamble to the Constitution, again, not even getting into the Constitution, we talk about the preamble, right? This is before we even get into the rules. That's the tone setter, right? We talking about 666, right? The treble, we set in the tone. When we set the tone, every decision that we make should go against the preamble to the Constitution. And Trump, if you think for a minute, right? Them drop charges don't mean God won't drop your draws, baby, and bend you over. Don't think for a minute. God's not done. The power don't come by virtue of your title, baby. I don't look. Whoever's here is here. God sees you. God knows everybody that's here, and God is not concerned, right? You could have your matrix way of doing things, but then God's going to show you who's actually in control. There's a realization of a curse on the White House, okay? They realize this. It's a curse on the White House. It's a curse on the Vatican. And there's a curse, I just heard, on Israel. And all three of them, yep, we talking about a holy trinity that's not holy, okay? All three of them know the reason that they are under a curse, because they know, I just heard, the workings that they had performed, and they thought that God didn't see it. They thought that they were God. It's hubris. What does that mean? That includes the Bar Association. This is the courts, okay? Judgment, heavy judgment on the courts and everybody associated with the bar. So you can get mad at me if you want to, just because you decided to go to law school and get your attorney and you're a part of the bar. You can be pissed off all you want to, but I really don't give a fuck. God is God. And if the bar is corrupt and you're a part of it, well, maybe you want to consider your associations. Know those that labor among you. They wrong, and God is about to fix them, okay? This is destiny. We talking about things that are fixed. This is fixed. This is their destiny for the things that they have been doing. And what's been done in the dark is coming to light. And there's a promise that God made, and it is the mark of the beast, and that he would mark the beast. And that Christ, the true intersection of divinity with humanity, would rise. It would come to power, and that the true beast would be defeated and cast into the lake for all eternity. That is what's taking place. This is prophecy, and people thought it wasn't real because they don't believe in Jesus. Why you got a Jesus piece? They don't believe in God. They're lovers of themselves. I see a King of Cups clarifying the moon, okay? I say again, who feels it knows it, okay? Whatever this is, let me just say, whatever energy you under, you feel it, okay? That means if you already know God is keeping his promise, you can sense that, right? You don't see God, but you can sense. I just heard that his presence is near. I just heard, and that he's a friend of you, okay? I see the Lovers card, right? You can sense that God is a friend of you and that God is in agreement with the fulfillment of whatever it is the nature of your relationship is, okay? You can tell that you're in partnership with God, right? It's giving Israel Houghton, right? I am a friend of God. He calls me friend, okay? So some of you, you can sense that. Again, I feel like you don't see it, but you can sense that, right? You know something's about to come into fruition. That's what it feels like. You know something's about to come into fruition, okay? God is my partner, okay? God got my back. God is with me, right? Again, Emmanuel, God is with you. Can sense that. Let me just tell you, whoever is not on the right side, who's ever not on the side of righteousness, that person can also feel, they do. I just heard rumblings, okay? Groanings is what this feels like. They feel very connected to the shadow. I get this energy of like it's pulling them in. It's almost like, yeah, I hear Rihanna. Wow, 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 thoughts. Wow, wow, wow. I feel like somebody's having some wild thoughts, but it is a product of their shadow. It's almost like the things that the what's in the closet, okay? The things that they've buried. Oh, the bodies that they've buried. The name Beth, Margie McCaslin could be significant. This person is they're all of the bodies that they have buried, all of the things that they've hidden or covered up, they're coming to mind. Sometimes this is like subconscious, where you have someone who has, again, whether they had feelings and they suppressed them, again, the reprobate, right? Because in order to do somebody else dirty, you usually have feelings, right? God will reveal that to you, but you have to deny that, right? You have to push that to the back of your mind. Whoever this is, all of the stuff that they've buried subconsciously is coming back to the forefront, okay? They can't suppress anymore. I see justice, and I wanted to say Gemini, but the Lover's card is Gemini. Libra and Gemini could be significant, okay? Y'all, I can't lie. I feel an energy of relief, okay? Some of you, I get this energy of like, you're taking a load off. Oh my gosh. Whew. Yeah, I see the Four of Wands here. Alignment is taking place, and I feel, I love it. I'm hearing Diana Ross. When I think of home, I think of a place where there's love overflowing. I wish I was home. I wish I was back there with the things I've been knowing. That's what this feels like, okay? It feels like you're going to feel at home, okay? With the Four of Wands, this is John, what is it, 14? I go to prepare a place for you. You're going to feel at home, okay? So I feel like you get ready for this, because the way that things are aligning, if you've been feeling sensitive or been feeling vulnerable, it makes me feel like something is being set up or prepared for you. You're about to feel comfortable. It's about to take, I just heard, an immense amount of pressure off. Yeah. If you've been feeling out of sorts or uncomfortable, death, okay? Your circumstance is changing, right? Something's coming to an end. You're not having to put up, you're not having to deal with, you're not having to, it feels like, be uncomfortable anymore. That's changing, okay? So I feel like enjoy this. I feel like it's for your benefit. It's for your good. Yeah, I see the Ace of Coins and the star here. It just feels like that energy, whatever curse has been, again, put on you that wasn't rightfully yours, with the death, it's over. And that energy is being cleared. You're being made whole. You're being given, again, that Jeremiah 29:11, that hope and a future, that I feel is, I don't know why I'm kind of getting like the land of milk and honey out of the star card. So it feels like that there's a change, and destiny is now coming in. Prophecy is being fulfilled. And with the Ace of Coins, something is being placed in your hands, okay? Guys, this is what I have for you. Significant energies: Pisces, Taurus, Virgo, Sagittarius, Cancer, Leo, Aquarius. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.